Like all beach playboys, the chatterbox cricket can be found on the sand along most of the Mediterranean. From Rimini to Manfredonia, it fills the night with its hymn of invitation to the female. It's so loud it can be heard hundreds of yards away. In fact, this cricket, with its large head and sturdy yellowish body, enchants the female to the point that it is irresistibly drawn to the source of the sound and willingly enters the den following its new mate. After a rapid examination of its prize, the male places itself so it can be mounted by the female. With abdominal palpitations, it persuades the female to accept the spermatophore. The spermatophore, a tiny capsule containing the spermatozoa, is anchored to the genital passage of the female. It will detach itself only after the spermatozoa have penetrated inward and fecundation has taken place. When mating is accomplished, the male walls up the female in a side room in the den, assuring a trouble-free maternity. However, the night is still young for the male, and it returns to the surface where it will try to enchant other females, usually about 2 or 3 a night. Dawn announces a change of the guards on the dunes. The night animals return to their dens dug in the sand or conceal themselves in small depressions among the vegetation. From other dens and depressions appear those who have learned to meet the challenge of the sun and wind and adapt themselves to the burning sand. For the larva of the antlion, the hunt begins. The tiny hunter very carefully digs his mortal trap in the shape of a funnel up to 8 centimeters wide. The antlion buries itself in the center until it is completely covered with sand. With only its powerful pincers protruding from the bottom of the trap, the insect waits patiently. It's enough for an ant to touch the edge of the funnel or venture into the pit to spring the larva into action. Using its head, like a shovel, it throws sand at its intended victim, causing it to fall to the bottom, where the unfailing pincers await it. Once it has a grip on its prey, the antlion begins sucking the vital liquids through the canal in its forceps. Later, the remains of the completely emptied ant will be thrown out of the trap, and the hunt begins again. The larva of the antlion isn't the only one that digs in the burning sand. This sand wasp arrives in great haste and quickly finds the entrance to its den. At the end of a tunnel, long enough to reach an area with sufficient humidity, the female has deposited its eggs. It is busy preparing a well-stocked larder for the newly hatched larva. Piles of flies and other insects are prepared so its offspring can eat uninterruptedly. To satisfy its voracious child, the sand wasp makes continual excursions outside the den. However, despite all this frenetic coming and going, it never forgets to close the entrance to the den very carefully to protect it from any would-be pillager. The door-closing ceremony is like a dance with various steps. This ritual is also tied to the necessity of carefully indicating the exact location of the lair so the parent will be able to find it after the hunt. With its victim held under its abdomen, the female sand wasp returns quickly to the lava. Flies are also the preferred prey of another inhabitant of the dunes, the tiger beetle. Besides a large head, protruding eyes, and hunter's jaws, the tiger beetle also has long legs that keep its body high off the burning sand and make it an agile, skillful runner. These insects take their prey by surprise, even those larger than themselves and equipped with good eyes and wings. On the dunes, besides the hunters, diggers, swimmers, and playboys, street cleaners can also be found. In this environment, poor in nutritious elements, nothing goes to waste. The best gatherers of leftovers are the Pimelia beetles. Stumpy, with short bodies, these insects have fused wing covers that form a round, horny black case. They like to roam around when the sun is about to set, patrolling large areas of beach in search of anything edible. One type of refuse has a particular, more demanding admirer. A horse crossed the beach during the night and left his excrement. Immediately by air or overland arrives one of the most famous inhabitants of this type of environment, the dung beetle. This insect is about 2 centimeters long with a black metallic body. It has a pair of jaws that never tire and short, powerful legs. The beetle can smell the dung from a great distance. And once it has located it, you would think there was no delicacy to compare with it. During the mating season, the males carry away some of the dung and shape it into a ball, which they push over the sand, straining with their hind legs. The female, back in the den, deposits her eggs inside the ball in order to assure sufficient food for the unborn insect. Occasionally, a bully will try to acquire a ready-made ball on its way to the den, instead of laboring with its own jaws and legs. The dung beetle hurries with its booty towards its lair as the air fills with the sound of crickets. A few steps from the undertow, numerous tiny organisms come out from the ground again. We still have a lot to learn about these creatures. Some of them are just beginning to reveal their amazing methods of adapting to the environment. This unpretentious little desert has many more stories to tell us, if only we knew how to protect it and understand its extraordinary richness. Dunes are sandy formations possessing a precarious equilibrium. They develop over a long period of time through the interaction of many different factors. Strong winds from the sea carry inland the grains of sand produced by the incessant beating of the waves. The first hardy pioneer plants appear, halting and imprisoning the sand with their roots. In this way, the slow process of accumulation begins. The newly created dunes reduce the impact of the wind and salt air, creating protected zones where typical Mediterranean bushes and shrubs soon appear. It's here in this dense underbrush that the most beautiful butterfly